This is just one chapter of the Stories with Sapphire podcast. Hear this story and others like it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Hello, believers, non-believers, and everyone in between. You're listening to Stories with Sapphire. I am Sapphire Sandalo. Now get cozy and open your mind because it's story time. The Light Man, submitted by Allison. Hey, Sapphire, I just wanted to tell you that I love your podcast. I listen to it every time I need to focus on schoolwork. It helps a lot. Anyway, I'll get to my story. I'll be using made-up names and nicknames for privacy reasons. Let's get started. This happened in 2017. Jay and I loved experimenting with the paranormal. She recently got a Ouija board. I knew how they worked, but didn't at the same time. Anyway, while using the board, we met a young boy who told us his name was Roy. We talked for a few hours and then took a break for pizza. We went back on, but the energy was now completely different. I don't know how to explain it, but it was that feeling of pure terror. I was even teary from it. The planchette spelled out Z-O-Z-O, Zozo, the Ouija board demon. We managed to end the session, and I threw the planchette on a pillow right next to me. I blinked, and the planchette somehow moved 5 feet across the room onto the floor. Jay started touching her neck. She said, "Something is touching me." Then a 6-foot-tall shadow man was standing right on the planchette. I grabbed Jay and her Bible. We ran outside of the house. We started saying prayers to God and higher beings. I was very serious during this. Jay, on the other hand, was not. She was laughing, being sarcastic, and making fun of me. I told her to stop, but it was no use. When I felt like it was safe, we walked back inside and somehow fell asleep. This is what truly scared me. I had a dream, a very vivid dream. I was in this dark gray room. I looked to my left. That same 6-foot shadow man was there. This time, sprinting towards me. I tried to scream, but I couldn't. And then I saw a light. I don't know how to describe it, but there was now light in the form of a man silhouette. No features, just a light in the shape of a man. I say man because his energy was very masculine. This light man appeared out of nowhere and tackled the shadow man. The light man somehow got the shadow man away from me. I could move again, and I started crying. Then the most beautiful, sweet, calming voice said, "It's okay. I'll protect you." It seemed like it was coming from the light man. I couldn't see his lips move. He didn't have any facial features, but I just knew it was him. The next morning, I woke up to Jay standing above me, staring at me. She proceeded to tell me about her vivid dream. She was in a dark gray room. A shadow man came running at her. Then a man made of light came and attacked the shadow man. I couldn't believe what she was telling me. What are the odds that we'd have exactly the same dream? But as she continued her story, I learned that hers did not end the same way mine did. "The man made of light," she said. "He failed. And the shadow man, he got me." And that's when I woke up. I tried to comfort Jay and let her know that it was nothing more than a dream. I didn't tell her about what I saw, in case it scared her even more. Ever since that night, Jay has been different, not in a bad way, just different, sadder, short-tempered. I don't know what happened to her, but I feel like she's been affected by the shadow man. As for me, I feel like I keep getting these close calls where I'm almost hurt, but then I end up okay. For example, once when I was riding my skateboard, something was thrown at me out of nowhere, but I narrowly avoided it. Or I'll trip, but then immediately find my balance again. Maybe it's just dumb luck, but I truly believe it's the shadow man and light man still fighting. And I hope light man wins. So, if you're unfamiliar, Zozo is believed to be a dangerous demon that can be summoned while using a Ouija board. It will trick you into thinking it's someone you know or someone benevolent so that you're willing to create a long-term relationship with it. Then, it will start to ruin your life. Z and O are at opposite ends of the board, so the planchette will rapidly move back and forth over and over to show that it is present. I'll be honest, I'm not sure where I stand on this phenomenon. Part of me believes it's a Slender Man situation where hysteria was created from the internet. But I also personally know people who believe they have been impacted by this entity. Whether Zozo is simply a catch-all name for any malicious entity that tries to come through a Ouija board, or a singular entity, don't play the game if you're not prepared for what could happen. Thanks for joining me today. Have you ever had an experience with a Ouija board? Send me an email at storieswithsapphire@gmail.com. And did you know that I offer bone and tarot readings? You can schedule a session at storieswithsapphire.com. Salamat and good night.